Well, after almost 3 weeks of non-stop fishing on the Bay of Green Bay, there's one thing you can't stress enough, so you can't rely on whatever happened yesterday to focus on for the present day.
Correct. The bay just seems to be a day-to-day fishery, and you know, yeah, granted you can run same patterns and same programs, but your locations seem to change quite a bit.
Yeah, so first tournament up was the AIM tournament, the Pro Team Challenge, another great event.
That was awesome.
That was a lot of fun. Got to fish with my dad again. He got to fish with his brother. So we had a lot of fun fishing on the bay. Pre-fishing was a blast because the weather was absolutely gorgeous.
I have never seen 5 days of flat, calm water on Green Bay ever.
Yeah.
But that definitely changed.
And you knew it was gonna.
It had
Every
to.
time it changes. And so we actually didn't have that much pre-fishing experience on what would happen when the wind actually did take off.
Right.
And it did take off.
Typical Green Bay, set up just like it did in previous years. You know, you had the deep water mud bite. That was great one day, horrible the next. You know, it's kind of that hit or miss because it's such a big area, and to find the active pot of fish is always the challenge in the mud.
Yep.
And then you have a few pieces of structure that seem to produce regardless. But gotta have wind for those to go. And the one thing that we had to take into consideration is AIM is a 7 fish limit. So you had to know that you were going to have at least 7 bites in a day.
Presentations overall,
Spinners.
It was spinner dominated for almost every day we were out in the bay, unfortunately. But that's just the way it was.
Spinners.
I was fishing close to the bottom most of the time.
Yep.
Especially when conditions got tough, you had to really drop your spread down.
And that's what we learned pre-fishing from them flat conditions.
Yes.
You know, now I know both you and I made some adjustments during tournament day and brought some baits up higher, but that's typical. When you get wind, a lot of times those fish will start to raise off the bottom.
Yep. So quality fish though, especially coming into day 3, we actually shifted locations a little bit, got on a much higher quality average fish. The bite was really good up there, pretty strong.
Yep.
And there wasn't a whole lot of boats to be had up there.
But that's what happens when the wind does a complete 180. You know, that wind was out of the south for the first 2 days of the tournament and then decided to blow out of the north, and it blew out of the north pretty hard.
Yes.
But that turned a piece of structure on up north that we knew would be good with the north wind. And we'd never had that during practice.
End results for that tournament, I finished in 4th. Bluff, you had a
9.
So both had a top 10 in that one. Feeling pretty good going into the second one, but strategies changed for the NWT. You go to a 5 fish limit, and it allows you to kind of swing for it a little bit more as far as your bites per hour can go down as long as you come in with 5 fish.
The only problem with that though is there's no culling allowed. You were allowed 6 fish, and once you put your 6th fish in the live well, you were done for the day. Whether it was 8:30 in the morning or 2:30 in the afternoon. So there was no upgrading allowed. And when you caught a fish, you had to make that decision right then or there, whether you're going to keep that or not. And that was probably one of the biggest things that played into our pre-fishing strategy, because we knew the areas we were going to go look at. If you got a bite, it was going to go in the box. You know, we didn't want to play that sorting game. So we decided to go for maybe 5, maybe 6 bites a day, but knowing that if you hooked up and landed that fish, it was a quality fish and you did not have to worry about making that decision. It was spinners again, darn it, but the colors of the spinners definitely changed, because for that NWT out of Sturgeon Bay, we fished even farther north, and the farther north you push on the bay, the cleaner the water gets. So down in the lower part of the bay, we were pulling a lot of bright colors, a lot of chartreuses, a lot of golds, things like that. But as we migrated north and we started to fish more rocky structures, the gobies become more of a dominant pattern. And that really seemed to shine for us was a dark bead color and a dark flashy blade. And when I say flashy, it's kind of a...
It's a muted flash.
Yeah.
So we started messing around with darker colored blades and beads, and that ended up being a pretty much a winner up there. You just, like I said, you just had to wait out that bite and make sure you got your 5 bites a day, put them in the box and go home.
It was a little easier for you than it was for me.
It just worked out pretty good the first day. We got into a hot pot of fish before some major storms rolled through.
Yeah,
it rained hard, and a lot of the field just got drenched. Lightning was an issue.
I did.
Yep. A few times you'd put your hand near the reel and you'd feel that humming and buzzing.
Yeah.
So it was actually getting a little hairy up there for a little bit. But just before those storms hit, the fish were firing, and it allowed me to get most of my bag right away during the first part of the day. And then you just had to work for those last couple bites.
Unfortunately, I only had 4 fish the first day. Didn't miss any, didn't
They were
lose
big,
any.
though.
They were all good. You know, they were the fish we were there for. Unfortunately, I came in 1 fish short, and the second day was where I really stumbled. You know, only having 1 fish that second day hurt. Finished 22nd overall, which isn't a bad finish out of 130 plus boat field, but not really what I was expecting for the bay. Now, Joey, on the other hand, rocked them both days. Second place finisher right there.
That felt pretty good. But even my day was really tough. I only came in with 3 fish. Coming back to the scales, I was thinking, well, you know, hopefully it was a tougher day for everybody else. We did see a lot of scrambling going on the second day. A lot of boats were just flying everywhere,
yeah,
which was a good indication that you either needed to hunker down and just hope for the right bites to come, or you needed to go hunt those fish.
And that's 24 pounds for 3 fish. Those are the right ones.
Those are the right
You
fish.
know, that's what you're looking for.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I don't have the patience to do that. I had to get out of there and go find some fish, and I did find a great pot of fish, was marking them, just couldn't get them to bite.
It's all right. A lot of the field couldn't. So much of the field, in fact, I think there was only 6 limits brought in on day 2 of that tournament. What's next?
What's next? You know, I think we got about 4 or 5 weeks off until we head to Devil's Lake.
Yep.
And that's it. NWT Championship, Devil's Lake. Let's get it on.
I'm ready. I've never seen the body of water before, but from what I hear from everybody, it's fish how you want to fish your fish, and just catch them. It's not that easy out there, but it's a great fishery, and you can be very versatile out there. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited to get out there.
Should be fun. Take care, guys. I appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you out in North Dakota.
See ya. Sweet.
Sweet.
Sweet. Finally got to sleep in my own bed.
How'd that feel?
Pretty dang good after 3 weeks.